Hey, I'm Sergeant Jen Chach from Cleveland Police. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Sunday's game, the Rams and the Browns here in Cleveland, and the municipal lot, and some of the rules, kind of just reiterate, as we do tend to have to do throughout the season, just what you should and shouldn't be doing here in the Muni lot. So for Sunday's game, the lot hours are going to be really important to emphasize. The lot will open to both vehicle and pedestrian traffic at 2 o'clock p.m., and there's no exceptions to that. So it's just exactly the same as it would be for a 1 p.m. game, where we open at 7 o'clock, so it's 6 hours before game time. So the lot's going to open at 2 o'clock for both vehicles and pedestrians, and we're going to restrict all access to the lot for vehicles and pedestrians up till 2 o'clock p.m. So that means that sometimes people will come down to the lot and they will pull up off to the side, and they'll drop people off with coolers or grills or blankets or chairs or tents. You can't do that right now. So it's going to be zero access to the lot until 2 o'clock p.m. At 2 o'clock p.m., we'll be letting people come on in and go ahead and get set up and go ahead and enjoy the tailgating prior to the game. Also talking today is going to be Lieutenant Gordon Holmes from our traffic unit. He's going to talk about some new traffic closures and patterns that we're going to be instituting for this week's game to keep traffic flowing on the freeways. One of the main issues that we do encounter is when people are pulling up to the lot, to the freeway exit that would lead to Muni lot. It gets backed up and we get a lot of stop traffic, which is dangerous, and then it backs traffic up all the way into downtown. So we're trying to alleviate that. And then Lieutenant Mike Norman from Fire is going to talk to us a little bit about grill safety and what's allowed in and out of the lot. So just to reiterate, Lieutenant Holmes is going to talk a little bit about traffic.
Just so everybody knows, we want everybody to know that, like the Sarge said, that we're not going to open the lot till 2. We're not going to allow people to stage or queue anywhere on the South Marginal. We're definitely not going to allow people to queue on the Shoreway. If you're here and you do that, we're going to have personnel in place to keep you moving. If your car is left unattended, we have personnel to take some enforcement action, towing the vehicles, writing some parking tickets. So we really don't want you to come down till around 2 o'clock. The closer to 2, the better off. About 1800 or so, 1830, about 6:30, 7 o'clock, we're going to start shutting the ramps to East 9th Street down and closing at the Shoreway like we would normally do for a game. And the reason is we just want to eliminate or limit the pedestrian and vehicle interaction. I don't know if there's anything else anyone wants to ask as far as that's concerned.
When people line up, what kind of problems does it cause? I mean, because if you saw last Sunday, I mean, it was crazy.
Well, first of all, the major problem is you're stopped on the freeway, and most people are going 50, 60 miles an hour. They're not expecting stopped vehicles on the Shoreway. They're letting people out. Now we're putting people and vehicles that are traveling at a decent rate of speed. They're interacting, and that's never good. Nothing good is going to come from that. So,
are there any issues when you always see them too backed up on 9th Street? Any issues with like blocking entrances or exits like that?
Well, yeah. When they do that, first of all, you can't get a fire truck in if there's an emergency. You can't get the police in or EMS if there's an emergency. We're always concerned about that. And even when they queue up on the shore or on the South Marginal, we got cars going the opposite way in a legal lane of traffic. Now we have to worry about getting emergency vehicles down here, and that whole interaction with pedestrians and cars. We don't like that. So.
You mentioned closing the ramps.
That
6:30?
6:30, about 6:30 we will close the eastbound East 9th Street ramp like we normally do on a game day. And about 10 to 7 o'clock, we'll start shutting Route 2 down. Just for people to get off at East 26th Street, we'll taper that down to a lane. The traffic engineering department will do that like we normally do for a normal game. They will exit, they come down the South Marginal, they can access the Muni lot, and they can access East 9th Street.
So then there'll also be restricted access on the freeway off ramps to get off at the South Marginal and to get off over here at the Muni lot entrance. So those will be blocked off. So you're not even going to be able to get off at those exits until 2 p.m. So we're going to have Lieutenant Norman now talk about grills and fire safety here.
Thanks, Sergeant Chach. I'm Lieutenant Mike Norman from Cleveland Division of Fire. And the very thing that makes charcoal so good for grilling is what makes it unsafe for tailgating. Those briquettes get very hot. They stay that way. They're hot enough to start a fire, and they stay that way for a long period of time. So we encourage people when they're grilling with charcoal at home to make sure that that charcoal is completely cold and that you're disposing of it in a metal container. You may not have that much time in a tailgate situation. You may not have the right container to dispose of those charcoal briquettes. Grilling on propane is allowed. That'll be allowed in the tailgate on Sunday night. So we encourage people to grill on the gas. And when you're shutting that down, make sure you shut it off twice. Shut it off at the handle and shut it off at the bottle, so the propane isn't continuing to run. So I hope everyone is safe on Sunday night, and go Browns.
Thank you. Okay, and so as we move into the season, it's not going to be as much of an issue right now as it does become throughout the season. This is Northeast Ohio, so down the road we'll have people who will be like a lot colder than they are. This Sunday is supposed to be nice and warm, so we're not too concerned about it right now. But moving into the season, we want to remind people that bringing those 50-gallon drums down, the big burn barrels, that's not allowed either. So like the open flame or building a fire in the parking lot is not okay. So we're discouraging that. And then just to close with some final thoughts, usually really the heroes of Sunday games and the tailgating and downtown and everything is our streets division. They come through, and Public Works just does such a phenomenal job cleaning up down here because there's just so much litter after a game. So when you come to the Muni lot or just downtown in general, treat this as you would a city park, or if you went camping, you would bring garbage receptacles or bring some trash bags and go ahead and pick up after yourselves. Please don't leave the Muni lot a really big mess. And aside from that, we'll open it up to questions now if anyone's got any questions.
Bringing dumpsters?
There will be trash receptacles here. I can't. They will overflow, and that's why we're reminding people that when you come down in your car or you come down in, your camper or things like that, you probably tend to, if you go camping, bring garbage bags and trash cans with you. That maybe you could help us out by taking some of that with you and leave Cleveland beautiful.
Why the change as far as people letting their friends out to come in and reserve a spot or something like that? Why that change?
Well, we're just trying to, limit the access and make it fair for everybody so that everyone gets a chance to set up at the same time. Because people tend to come in and then they reserve a spot, and we're trying to make it fair for everybody. So it's going to be one time for an open for everybody to get here.
First come, first serve.
First come, first serve, absolutely.
Now, is that going to be the whole season, or is that just for this Sunday night?
At this point, it's where we believe it's going to be for the whole season. Anybody else? Okay, thanks.